Hey, it's NOOCH. And NOOCH is out of it for a little while and everything goes to pieces. So NOOCH was on a vacation. Here's the lovely scenery behind NOOCH in the mountains of Colorado. Just beautiful, amazing, just relaxing. And the Tyranny update comes out with a lot of good things, and then we get some bad and we get some ugly. So let's talk about the good things first. As humans, we often focus on the bad. We talk about how we, farmed 10 times in a node and didn't get any tiles. We remember that forever. We don't remember the time we got 8 tiles in that node. But let's talk about the good things before we get into the rough things. So the master store was updated. You're now going to get 10 master tokens per extra tile, and they also gave out a gift. NOOCH got 2,000. It sounded like some people got 3,000 master tiles for the store. So you'll be able to use those. Looks like NOOCH is actually pretty close to being able to get Kartovsky, 50 tiles of Kartovsky to get them to 4 stars. So that was promised and that was delivered. Another thing that was promised was the hero filter. So now you can filter like city, and we can look at city role models, and we see that we've got Poppy, Firefighter, Ash, and Primo. We can drill on down even a little bit more. We look at Justice, and we see there's Primo. So we now have all of the factions, sub-factions, subcategories, whatever you want to call them. They're all right here in the game now, available. So that's a big add, actually, because before it made no sense. You had factions and you couldn't filter by them and see them. So that was a big add. We got the events. They came out. We got some extra Brickspedition maps. We got the leaderboard. So if we look down here at the daily quests and you go to the guild quests, right below first, second, and third, you can see NOOCH is in first, third, by the way, Silver Division Ruffian, thank you. You've got the leaderboard, so you can see the top contributors of the day for the guild quest of the day, and today it's mashup energy. So that'll really be a good tool for guild leaders to see who's being active, who's not, maybe who they can boot and who they should keep. Just really keep an eye on activity. So that's the good things. Oh, and one more that was unannounced, and that was kind of nice, was we got localized payouts in Arena, which is something that's been needed from the very beginning. Everybody paying out at the same time doesn't make sense. Some people are sleeping during payouts, some people are going to work, whatever. So now it seems like they've localized payouts to 9 or 10 p.m. for everybody. So that's in here now. So NOOCH's payout is at 10 p.m. and that's a much needed add to the game, because now you can jump in and climb right before your payout time for the hour or two before your payout time, as opposed to doing it during different times of the day and just kind of hoping you maybe ended up where you wanted it to end up. So that's a big deal and was unannounced, so it was a nice surprise to get into this update. Even though it had been announced as an update, we didn't know it was coming now. So those are the good things. Let's talk about some bad things first. And bad, different, whatever you want to call it, we see here that in the Tyranny event, in the second map, on the second node, you need a 2-star Lee to proceed. So you're thinking, okay, 30 tiles, and I got 10 to begin with when I unlocked Lee here in the first thing, and I've got 23 out. After 2 days, I have 23 out of 65 tiles. Well, that's a 3-star unlock. Well, that means that 2-star Lee doesn't exist. She's a figment of the developer's imagination. Maybe she used to exist. NOOCH doesn't really know, but for those of us who weren't playing at the time of the last Tyranny brick pace, we're going to have to spend based on these drop rates. So 2 days, NOOCH. Oh, we just looted it. But anyway, in 2 days, NOOCH got 13 tiles. There's a couple. 2 days, 13 tiles. It's going to take like 8 days to get her unlocked. We can go and spend the event energy on her, but we know that there's 2 different types of brick paces now. We got the Ghostbuster type, where some of us were unable to unlock Slimer because we didn't get the higher level Ghostbusters, and it seems like the Tyranny one is falling into that level because we're going to have to get some Lee tiles from the shop in order to advance into the event and get the Governor later on. Because if you don't get the Lee tiles from the shop, you may be looking at not getting the Governor unlocked at all. So whether that's good or bad, even unlocking the Governor at what looks like 4 stars, well, you're not going to get that, without investing some money in it. And You know, it's tough to advise investing money in right now because we've got some more ugly stuff. But let's talk a little bit more about the bad. There was word of a Garmadon nerf. I haven't heard much more about that though, so that may or may not have happened. It would be tough to know because I don't think anybody has Garmadon above 3 stars right now. So it sounds like maybe Garmadon was nerfed, but more than that, if we go into not the shop, we want to go into the challenges. The AI changed the turn order for 2 characters specifically, but probably for a lot more. But for Wu and Locust, you know, Locust used to do his AoE that gave his whole team offense up and defense up, and he'd save his taunt for later because his taunt gives more health up. Well, now guess what? The first thing Locust does now with the AI is taunt. And that's a complete waste of that ability because he's better off using it later when he needs to add some health. And you can see here, Wu now, his first move with the AI is his 3rd ability, which is his attack that gives extra damage and removes the buffs. That needs to be saved for later. It was saved for later before. Wu used to use his basic, which would give stealth to the lowest health ally. Now he's using his 3rd ability, which is a waste at the beginning of the match. So some bad AI changes that weren't announced, and we weren't ready for those. And that's not really great, and it makes it even harder to defend an arena. I guess maybe they're thinking it opens up arena a little bit, but okay. It doesn't seem great. But let's talk about, we'll let that run. Let's talk about the ugly. And the ugly is going to be over here. Over here. It sounds like we're not going to get raids this year. So that's 2 more months minimum until we get raids, which are the biggest need of this game right now, is a way for a guild to work together, because you need more guild tools to do that. You need guild requirements, you need co-leaders, you just need more in the guild that you can do. And it's a way for your guild to work together to complete an event, a raid, and to use more of your roster, to find creative ways to use your roster. But it sounds like, per the developers, we're not getting the raid this year, and we originally thought we were going to have it like already. So it's like a 3-month delay. We can chalk it up to COVID. We can chalk it up to, I know that we lost a couple of popular developers here recently, WAF and Abo. Not really sure, but we're not getting the raid this year. And honestly, that's kind of ugly, because that was the biggest thing we had to look forward to that we had announced. There's other things we'd like to see in the game, but the raid is the #1 thing that really had people excited. So that is kind of ugly. That's all we got. We got a really good update, but we got some bad stuff with it, and we got some ugly announcements to go along with that regarding the raid. Before NOOCH signs off, you can subscribe down there. You can watch a new video over there. And you can always remember, NOOCH too good.